Grand
Greetings.
rising, everyone.
Hello,
Mm.
hello, hello.
No, it's actually aloha, aloha,
Oh, right.
aloha.
Yes, because one of us is in normal space and the other one.
The other one is aloha, mahalo.
Oh my gosh. And what on
Um,
earth were you doing in Hawaii, my friend? You gotta tell everybody. Well, first,
ooh.
hang on. Greetings. We are all in alignment with the sunny tan, semi-tanned Anita and Cheryl. Here to have fun with you this morning on our Feng Shui Friday Live. Except one of us is not in Canada. Let's just say that.
Hmm. So my mom and I took a little trip to Maui to participate in a cosmic grand adventure called the Pineal Tones Aloha Choir.
Hmm.
So all you have to do is go pineal, Pineal, tones.com. You'll find out all about it. So we actually had a cosmic appointment
Yeah.
26,000 years ago to be here. Mm. And it was magical. It was amazing. Yeah, we did our choir performance yesterday, and there will be a documentary about all the energy shifts and creating, this contributing to the shift for humanity on a global scale.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, you might have seen me disappear off camera a few times, and that's
Yep,
because
I did.
cards, like flying out. So what do
Woo-hoo.
we do? Normally, we have three cards that we will take from the Feng Shui Personal Paradise card deck by Tara Catherine Collins, and we use
Mhm.
those as our guide for Feng Shui Fridays for our topics. And
Mhm.
I'm wearing glasses, and normally my friend Nita is also wearing them. However,
However, I forgot to pack them,
well, you
so
know, and that's okay. And you haven't had any shopping time either. So,
no, no shopping
you've
time.
been busy. We've had four cards fly out. And it
Hmm.
is really quite entertaining because you started talking about being and saying aloha, mahalo, and Hawaii. And the first card that flew out was the number 8 card, nature objects.
Mm.
Then the next one that flew out was 25, getting organized.
Hmm.
And the last two that flew out, normally we only do 3 cards, but these flew out together. Number 40, windows and doors, and number 1, animals.
Mm.
So we have nature objects and animals, windows and doors, and getting organized. To me, this all centers around the choir. Can you
Mm.
imagine coordinating in that beautiful environment of Maui
Hmm.
300 choir participants? That's
Hmm.
organized. And not just that, but there were vendors there.
Hmm.
There were presentations throughout the week, yes.
Yes. Hmm.
So there was a lot going on in that space and a lot of very high energy by some of those people in that space.
Oh
So
yeah.
what are your highlights from it, Anita, besides the performance yesterday? Because that's what it was all leading up to.
Oh, highlights. Gosh, I don't know if we could pick one. Oh, well, one thing that you would appreciate, and you'll get to see somewhere down the road, because,
Hmm.
like I say, the whole event yesterday was recorded video and audio.
Hmm.
And there was a fellow there, and um, I will get his full proper name, Dr. Richard something, and he does the scenography, I think it's called. Anyways, where they have like a plate and they put sand on it,
Okay,
and when
yes.
you vibrate, and then it changes shapes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he had that. He was there and he had his thing there, his machine, whatever it is. And when we were singing, they had two big screens up and you could see in real time
Oh,
the geometric shapes.
wow.
And it was unbelievable. It was
Beautiful.
just like, wow. And I have to tell you, someone, I won't say the name because you would know, and she might not want me sharing this information widely. Anyways, someone i- that was participating in the choir has a sleep apnea
Mm-hmm.
machine, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah. And she has a little Fitbit watch. And usually, so she always is looking at her oxygen levels.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, her oxygen levels run around 88, 89, somewhere in there. And by doing nothing else but participating in the choir, her oxygen levels consistently stayed at 99, 100, right around there. So they
Wow.
increased 10 points.
That's huge
And I mean, that's how powerful we are.
vibration. Yeah.
And when you think about what we were doing is we're creating sound through our
Yes.
own vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that frequency, that vibration is then felt by our cells.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're familiar with Dr.
Moto.
Emoto's work
Mm-hmm.
in, capturing crystalline structures,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our body is
Water.
80% water.
Yes.
So it makes sense that by doing these, and again, it's the words that you speak to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's all of those things combined. So that for me was just like
Holy
incredible.
smokes.
It was almost like a scientific validation,
Yes.
whatever. Anyways,
It
so
was a
so fascinating.
validation that you probably weren't anticipating,
No.
right? Because there were some other scientists there doing a number of
Oh, yeah.
other things, right? But this is a real life instant validation of the effects of our environment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is fantastic. And that really plays into all of this because you're talking about Dr. Emoto's work and the other doctor that was doing with the sound and the sand. Well, all of that are tiny particles being organized. Think about that.
Nature's object.
Nature objects being organized into creating these sacred geometric shapes
Mm-hmm.
and all based on tones. So it pulls everything full circle. It brings back in full circle the importance of your environment, which we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about all the time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about being organized. And this is just another way to look at organizing. It's nature's way of organizing. And often you'll hear Anita and I, when we talk about the mouth, it's what?
The mouth of chi.
Right? But it's the door to our windows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And where was all of this coming from? Right? It's all of the work you were doing, all of the vibration, all of the practice was
Mm-hmm.
coming out of your doors, out of the mouth.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I love how these cards have all come together, the nature objects, the animals. That is one part, and I don't know, and you might know and you might not know.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Because of the location you chose, was there any biologists? Was there any of that happening to consider, or what was going on in the oceans by Maui at the time of all of this work?
Yep. Well, a couple of things. The whales.
Yes.
Okay. There's part of the choir
Mm-hmm.
that required the whale sounds.
Oh, there we go.
So the whales actually are the energetic placeholders of our planet. So they help to hold consciousness and they help to transmute energy.
Mm-hmm.
And the sound of the whales uh, is very, very powerful. And of course, um, so Dr. Todd Ovakades was
Mm-hmm.
our choir
Director.
initiator.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And he actually sang the tones of the whale because he actually, 12 years ago, when he was guided to present this information,
Mm-hmm.
he came to Maui and he actually was in the ocean upside down, mimicking the whales and absorbing their sound. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, he has a photographic memory, and all of the tones of the whales were infused into every cell of his being. And so he yesterday was doing the whale sounds. And
Wow.
I can't even mimic them because
No.
they're profound. And again, when we saw the geometric shape was incredible. And then the other thing is that we all were given this beautiful little vial of water.
Yes.
So all of the energy that was in that room yesterday
Mm-hmm. Was infused into
was
the water.
off. Yeah. And we were all instructed to take this water home and put it into our rivers or lakes or
Oh.
wherever it is, because there's a crystalline structure in here, no different than Dr. Emoto's work.
Mm-hmm.
So this water is very highly energetically charged.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to put this under a microscope, the crystal structure of it would be wow.
Wow.
And so, yeah, by taking this little vial of water, bringing it home, putting it into Sylvan Lake,
Mm-hmm.
we're actually going to help change the structure of that water.
That is so amazing. Oh, how cool. And of course, that brings in the animals. I knew the whales were going to come into play. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I didn't know how, but I just knew it. It's all good. Okay. How exciting.
No, you can't. No, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So let's continue talking about some of these then.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure in Hawaii have you had time to go for walks
Very little, but today we're going to be spending more time. Yeah.
in nature, which is
Mhm.
lovely. And it doesn't matter where you are, you can be out in nature, potentially. You might have to dress for it. Depends upon where you live, of course. But the nature objects, which we don't think about, and I want to go back to the animals, the nature objects, and that water. What
Mhm.
do you think animals are made up of? There's a percentage of water in their physical bodies as well. So when the animal's environment becomes organized with the water structure of what you're doing. So this is how my brain's working this morning. Oh my gosh, this is
Okay.
so cool.
I love
So
it.
the doors, the windows and the doors that were opened and the music was coming from
Mhm.
shifted the structure of water.
Mhm.
Okay. Now that's all organized. Their water is a nature object, by the way.
Yep, it
But
is.
the animals that are on the sand, that are consuming the water, that will be affected by the water, and I will guarantee you that the animals close to the facility where you guys were at, including in the water, but the animals around the space, so the dogs, the cats, the whatever the animals are locally, were also affected by that because their hearing is way different than our hearing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So their physical structure is going to be shifted. One of the pictures you shared with me were magnificent trees that are
Mhm.
also affected by the work that you all just did there. You want to
Yep.
talk about a nature object? You need to post the picture of those trees.
I
in this
will.
feed.
Hmm.
Imagine the sheer amount of water that those trees take up into their root systems, right? So now we have the nature objects and the animals that are shifting because the environment shifted because y'all got together and organized
Yep.
300 windows and doors.
Yep, we did.
And how far outreaching will that vibration go? We'll never know.
Well, and some of those windows and doors, Cheryl, came from Australia,
All over the world.
Spain, Germany, Switzerland, uh, Belgium, uh,
Canada, the US.
Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. But again, let's bring that back to our own home
Mm-hmm.
environment, right? So
Exactly.
windows and doors. This time of year, up in the northern hemisphere, we're closing the windows,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still invite some of that beautiful sunshine in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure that the windows are clean.
Yep.
Maybe you don't like the view so much outside the window. Well, you know what? Maybe just tape a beautiful picture of a tree or something. Give yourself something else to look at, to focus on. And then again, make sure that all those doorways are clean. We're going to be welcoming in the Chinese New Year here in not
Mm-hmm.
so very long, and we want to, maybe start to prepare for that.
Or even
Uh,
our own New Year.
in our home. And then again, if you have pets in your home, you want to make sure that they are always, elevated energetically, making sure that you regularly clean their favorite little bed or
Hmm.
their dog dishes or cat dishes or whatever it is, right? Sometimes we forget about those kind of things in our home. So,
Mm-hmm. 100%. But
ah,
while you were talking, I got a very clear message. If I recall correctly, and you'll know for sure, Dr. Todd's pineal tones, there are
mhm,
some recordings that are
mhm.
available for
Yep,
download, correct?
yep. You
There
can
is
go.
nothing stopping you
Mhm.
from putting some water into
Oh
your
yeah.
container that you're going to clean with or water
Mhm.
your plants with
Oh yes. Or
and
feed the
play the
animals.
pineal tones
Hmm.
and have it shift the vibration of the water. Put your intention in with that because intention is everything. And if you're going to these lengths, your intention is already infused,
Hmm.
truthfully, because you're intending to up the vibration of the water. Water
Yep.
your plants with that. Give that water to your pets. Consume that
Hmm.
water for yourself. Wash your clothing in that water or your face and your skin. Those are subtle shifts that you can make.
Hmm.
And those pineal tones are also, if you're playing that in your home, like,
Well,
hello, that's going to shift the environment in your home.
hmm. Yep, yep, yep. And actually, yeah, I mean, there's even a whole study on the tones. Uh, Dr. Todd actually, prior to this, I mean, a couple of years back,
Mm-hmm.
had actually sent, I don't know if he sent water or perhaps, I think they played the tones. That's what they did. They played the tones to um, water that they already had in Dr. Emoto's lab. So
Mm-hmm.
his work still continues to this day, even though
Yes.
he's transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
And so they actually took the Tokyo water, which Tokyo water is the worst water in the world. And when the tones were imbued, I guess, on the Tokyo water, the crystalline structure changed, and we actually saw what that looked like. Now, whether that's available somewhere, it could be on YouTube or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah,
so
so in the chat, we'll have Anita put, because Dr.
mhm,
Todd is quite often, his last name gets misspelled,
yep.
but I think it's Dr. Todd O. is
Yep,
what
it
he'll
did.
use. And
Yep.
pinealtones.com is
Yep.
another one of his sites. He has a number of them, but I'm pretty sure there was at least one, there used to be one free recording that you
Yep.
could download or at least listen to. And it
Yep.
would be worth doing the search.
Hmm.
Because if you're going to up your energy, what a better way to do it than imbue it with the music and the tones that have already been proven to change someone's oxygen reading live and in person. Like that's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, exactly. Mind blowing. So I love how these cards have come together.
Oh,
It's
good.
very entertaining to me.
We knew they would.
Well, they always do, but it was like 4 cards. This is just the weirdest, but whatever. You got to go with what you got, right? Um, and all of that. So let me do a quick total on the numbers here, figure out what we've got. Oh my goodness. And then I have to grab my book because I didn't even set that up correctly.
Oh, well. And just so you all know, I am 3 hours behind you.
Yes,
So I'm I may look awake, but I'm not quite
not quite. It all totals 20, which is a 2. So let me grab my book.
Oh, well, two we know is about a
Foundation.
partnership. You know, it's
Foundation.
a partnership and the
Strong
partners.
foundations, Sue. So
Yeah,
here's
and
something that's very fun. So I always, and you know that if you've watched any of these, I always refer to double digitology, Marilyn Harper and Joy Roby as our guide reference. And Marilyn Harper, who is the channel for Adironda, was at this event. Anita sent me a picture of her. So hello, Marilyn, if you're watching. All right,
uh,
so let's pull up
I had to
number
plug my
2.
device in.
Sorry?
I said I had to plug my device in. Anyways,
Yeah, that's all good. All
uh,
right. Number 2 represents stability, cooperation, emotions carried in the core of our foundation, soft hearts, empathy. They feel the energy of others. The ability to see the balance in 2 opposing forces. This is kind of fun. A bit reckless. They will also challenge their own personal divine partnerships. So when she's talking, when Adironda is referring to this as if number 2 is like your birth number or your life number.
mhm.
So that it talks about that, but does not tip over. So talking about the shape of the 2, does not tip over and has a strong foundation, which all the work that all of you have done where you're at has
Mhm.
added strength to each one of your own foundations.
Well, and I think too that it's that divine partnership.
Hmm.
We have a divine partnership with nature.
Yes.
We have a divine partnership and responsibility with water,
Mm.
right? We have a divine partnership with our own vessel.
Hmm.
We have a divine partnership with animals and the windows and doors. Yeah, you know, we have that partnership to be able to see all of that divineness around us. And we have the ability to share it through our own voice, to be able to um, have that beautiful peace, peace on earth,
Yes.
shifting the consciousness of the planet. Oh,
Which, oh my goodness, that's what y'all did.
y'all did.
Y'all
Mhm,
did this past week because you
mhm,
practiced for what, 4 days and
mhm,
then did the performance on the 5th day. So that is
mhm,
a huge commitment for everybody that had attended. And at the same time, as was mentioned to you, this was an appointment 26,000 years in the making,
Yes, it was.
which is very amazing. So you'll have to wait until on cryon.com, Lee uploads the channels from that.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? There's another thing happening, and I will find the exact link, whatever. Um, there is a documentary being released this weekend on Prime on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Todd is one of the featured, um, yeah, stars, I guess we're going to call them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's called, I think it's called biohacking, something. Anyways, I'll find out the exact name of it, but it's being released this weekend.
Oh,
And
isn't
he's,
that cool? So
yeah.
I just wanted to hop on here
Hmm.
because I'm sure you can't, but we have some comments and some people that have joined us, and Cindy is one of them, who says, the cards sure resonate with me. I just hung new drapes in my living room and dining room. I'm waiting for a new install of a garage door and have brought a whole lot of nature into my home with Christmas decor.
Nice.
Not as exciting as Anita's experience. Whoops, that's us. I'm trying to get to the other comments, but when I do, it pops up the video. So,
Yeah.
but thank you, Cindy, for confirming and that confirmation. So you can read the other comments and whoever else is joining us or had joined us this morning, because we have a few minutes to acknowledge them if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else. But again, I don't, maybe have the best connection over here, but
True. Okay.
anyways.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for joining us, those of you that have joined us. One from Central Alberta, Canada, and the other currently in Maui, Hawaii. The
Mhm.
beautiful scarf, by the way.
Mahola.
Yeah. Half yourself. Look at that. We're actually wrapping up early.
Mm,
Isn't that unusual?
mm, yeah.
Usually we can talk for hours, but maybe it's the extra energy from the water and all the pineal tones.
Hmm.
Anyway, thank you for joining us on this Feng Shui Friday, December 13th. Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's my lucky day.
Mine
Yay.
too. My
Okay.
house number is 13. I love
Yay.
the number 13. So, and have you ever wondered why they call it Friday the 13th and be really superstitious about it? It's to keep you scared. And that
Uh,
vibration versus the pineal tones vibration are on opposite ends of the
mm.
spectrum.
Oh, yeah. It's a lucky day. It's a lucky day.
Fabulous day. So go out there, maybe create some new foundations, some new partnerships. Consider the animals and the water in your life. Consider your windows and doors. And look at some nature objects like Cindy. Maybe bring in some fresh boughs for your evergreens or something into your home and get a little bit of organizing done so that your season, your time in the next week flows way easier like water.
Just
Mhm.
flows beautifully.
Wrap us
Okay.
up, my
Oh,
friend.
now we're doing a little, yeah.
Aloha dance.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.